Open world games are continuing to be a staple genre to the PlayStation 4's library, and that isn't changing in 2018. We already know of a ton of big open world games releasing this year, and in this video we want to go over 10 of the lesser known PlayStation 4 open world games coming in 2018, so let's get right into this. Lost Soul Aside. Lost Soul Aside is a very impressive open world RPG, and what's crazy about the game is that initially it was being developed by just one man in Yang Bing. It's developed in Unreal Engine 4, and right away when you look at the game it's very visually stunning, and it of course takes some visual cues from the Final Fantasy franchise, and it looks to play more of something like Devil May Cry, a fast-paced action game. It's absolutely gorgeous, and Yang Bing now does have a full team working on the title, so development has been moving along. Back in 2016 he did say he wanted to release the game in 2018, so hopefully that still stands. What began as a passion project now looks to be one of the biggest PlayStation 4 exclusives, and we do know that it will be a timed exclusive to the PlayStation 4. Praey for the Gods. Praey for the Gods is a very exciting open world survival game, and right away when you look at this game, just like Lost Soul Aside, it's very impressive visually. And Praey for the Gods has drawn a lot of resemblance to Shadow of the Colossus in terms of its colossal boss fights. However, the game also takes a lot of elements from survival titles such as an exhaustion system. Everything you do will affect the level of exhaustion. If you're walking in deep snow or running too fast, that's gonna affect your exhaustion. Praey for the Gods is one of the more ambitious projects that you're gonna come across. We still don't have an exact release date for the title, but it should come sometime in 2018. Kingdom Come Deliverance. Kingdom Come Deliverance is an open-world action RPG being developed by Warhorse Studios and published by Deep Silver. The game is set in the medieval kingdom of Bohemia, an imperial state of the Holy Roman Empire, with a focus on historically accurate and realistic content, and that's what you'll notice about Kingdom Come Deliverance right away, is that there's a sense of realism to the game. And Kingdom Come Deliverance is a game that very much puts the power into the player's hand. You're gonna develop your main character how you want to. It features a classless RPG system where you can really mold your character and how you want him to be. And visually, this is another impressive game. It is running on the Cry engine, and that's pushed some of the most visually pleasing games of all time. Kingdom Come Deliverance's release date is right around the corner. It's set to hit the PlayStation 4 on February 13th.
You have to prepare for the worst.
You spend all your days drinking and chasing wenches. What kind of fool are you, boy?
You have courage, but you need training, arms, a horse.
Please, take me into your service and give me the chance to learn these things.
Put it all behind you.
I never want to forget this. The time has come for those whore sons to pay for what they did to us.
Move. Move. Sir. They're coming.
there's no time.
Vane. Vane is one of the PlayStation 4 titles that not a lot of gamers are talking about, and I can kind of understand why there hasn't been a gigantic marketing push for the title. However, it does look to be a very exciting game. It's an atmospheric adventure about unraveling the secrets of an unknown land, finding your place in it, and pulling at the threads of the world to make a change. It's a very artistic game, and it'll be interesting to see how this game delivers its thematics. One of the taglines of the game is explore the secrets of the past to find the remnants of your future, so this seems to be a very story-driven game while also being in an open world. Vane was originally set to release in 2017, but now it's been pushed back to 2018, and hopefully it delivers when it comes out. Biomutant. Biomutant is an open-world action RPG coming from a brand new development studio in Experiment 101, and it's being published by THQ Nordic. And while Experiment 101 are brand new, it is composed of developers that worked on titles such as Just Cause as well as Mad Max, so you know that they're well-versed in open-world titles. However, Biomutant is a very interesting open-world game. It has you take control of a raccoon-like creature in a world filled with mutated animals. Yeah, it's different to say the least, but it's definitely very charming. And you get to customize your own unique character. Your gender, length, thickness, fur, fangs, and many other attributes can be tweaked, and all of those aren't just cosmetic, they all have direct impact on the statistics of the playable character during gameplay as well. A thicker character is heavier, which makes it slower, but on the flip side allows it to deal more damage, and the combat itself combines melee attacks with long-range shooting, so it looks to be very interesting. From the gameplay we've seen thus far, it doesn't look completely polished up until this point, but hopefully when it releases sometime in 2018, Experiment 101 delivers with a brand new IP in Biomutant. Edge of Eternity. Edge of Eternity is a Japanese RPG that was actually funded via Kickstarter, and visually this is another very impressive game, and JRPGs usually aren't associated with fantastic visuals. Sure, you've got your Final Fantasy 15s of the world out there, but that's the top tier of the line JRPG. Edge of Eternity, on the other hand, is one of your lower key JRPGs, but visually it's still stunning. And it's inspired by past JRPGs for their strategical turn-based combat system and character progression, and by the latest success of Western RPGs for the vast open worlds to explore in the non-linear story. The game is all about exploring, building up your characters, fighting, and living an adventure to remember. Edge of Eternity is a game with a lot of promise. With Kickstarter projects, you always have to be a little bit hesitant, but hopefully Edge of Eternity paves the way for another fantastic JRPG franchise. Time will tell. Black Desert Online. The PlayStation 4 isn't associated with fantastic MMORPGs, but it is a genre that it's been gaining more and more steam on. You've seen great titles such as Final Fantasy XIV, The Elder Scrolls Online, and now we have the latest in Black Desert Online, which is an MMORPG developed by Korean developer Pearl Abyss. The game is already released on PC, and I've talked about visuals quite a bit, but when you look at Black Desert Online, this is arguably the best looking MMORPG of all time. It is a visually stunning game, but there's also quite a bit of depth to the gameplay, and the gameplay itself is very action-oriented, so it's a lot of fun, and if you've been turned off by the gameplay styles of a lot of other MMORPGs, Black Desert Online can win you over. And best of all, there's no monthly fee to play the game, at least on PC. Hopefully that transitions over to the PlayStation 4 version. We do know that the game will be launching first on the Xbox One in 2018, and it's set to come to the PlayStation 4 a little bit later on, so it is unfortunate that we have to wait, but hopefully it delivers when it does release. GreedFall. GreedFall is an upcoming open-world action RPG that hardly anyone is talking about. It's developed by Spiders, and while they aren't the most well-known studio, they have worked on some decent titles such as the Technomancer as well as Mars Warlogs. As for GreedFall, their latest title, the game is set in a 17th century fantasy-style world. An island paradise has been discovered by colonial forces from several distinct nations from fictional lands but with magic and monsters. You play as a neutral human who recently arrived at the island, able to ally yourself with either the native elves who inhabit the land or any of the foreign nations competing to conquer and colonize the new land. Spiders have yet to create a truly terrific game, but GreedFall has the potential to be that, and hopefully they deliver on it when it releases on the PlayStation 4 in 2018. Wild is one of the more interesting PlayStation 4 exclusives. It's set during the prehistoric Neolithic period, around 10,000 to 2500 BC, in a procedurally generated world of seemingly infinite size. The player controls a human and can use smaller animals to spy on others, or larger animals to support the player and their tribe in fights with other humans. A lot of comparison has been drawn to something like Far Cry Primal, but it really puts more emphasis on that shaman-like powers, and once possessing an animal, the gameplay moves to the point of view of the controlled creature, and gameplay style completely shifts. You use the skills and characteristics of that animal. Wild is a very interesting game. Usually these games turn out one of two ways. They can really nail the style of gameplay that they're going for, or they get a little bit muddled. Hopefully Wild is of the former rather than the latter. Time will tell. We should find out in 2018 as Wild releases exclusively on the PlayStation 4. And finally, Dynasty Warriors 9. Dynasty Warriors has been one of the more consistent franchises in the gaming world. It's had its niche audience, but Dynasty Warriors 9, yes, there's been 9 games and a lot more if you count all of the spin-off and extra entries, is the latest in the franchise, but obviously, unlike previous Dynasty Warriors game, this will introduce the series to an open-world environment. A traversable map of China will be implemented, which the player can freely roam on foot, horseback, or boat. And the game will focus on livable environments such as cities and towns, as well as areas where large battles take place. This is a stark shift for Dynasty Warriors, and it really looks like a move into the mainstream audience. Dynasty Warriors has always had a relatively small audience. Maybe it's because of its redundant gameplay or its style of gameplay that just doesn't engage all gamers. However, this is implementing a lot of gameplay elements that appeal to a mainstream audience. You can invade and infiltrate enemy fortifications with the utilization of a grappling hook. A day and night cycle is there, a dynamic weather system, and all of that changes in real time. Enemy vision is affected at nighttime or when it is raining. And the map will advance in time when main story missions are completed, but are described as having a high degree of difficulty, which can be lowered by completing associated side missions. Dynasty Warriors 9 looks to be a game filled with depth, and it could be the title to break the series out from its path. We'll find out as the game is set to release on February 13th. So that wraps up 10 PlayStation 4 open world titles that you need to know about. What do you think? Which of these games are you excited for? Did we introduce you to any titles that you didn't know of? Let us know in the comments section down below. Thank you for watching and goodbye.